Hello everyone! So, my fellow FNAF fans, we have won. Today is our day. We finally have the SPRINGTRAP PTB in Dead by Daylight. Today is the day. This is the beginning of a new era for both us FNAF fans and Dead by Daylight fans. Today's video, I just wanted to give like a quick run over of what SPRINGTRAP does, what his perks are, what his power is, yada yada yada, and my overall thoughts on him. So, without that being said, let's begin. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is SPRINGTRAP's design, and I just have to say, they did so well on his design, like, oh my god. Okay, besides that, yeah, like, the animations he does, they are really slick and clean. Like, especially his Mori, like, it is very creative and I like it. I like how he has a little, like, kitchen knife. I like how he has an axe. I like the little doors that are implemented. Everything about the design of this character is just so well done. And I personally think that this is probably besides, like, you know, a few others like Demogorgon and all that, this is like probably like the most faithful one to its original like counterpart. I just excuse me for just, you know, over here dick riding, but like, I love this killer so much. I'm definitely gonna be maining him when he comes out. Okay, so before I get into SPRINGTRAP's pretty interesting powers, let's talk about like some of his perks that he has, since you know, they're not all that complex. I'm not gonna be like talking about like how well they do with like, oh, this and that and all these combinations. No, I'm just gonna be talking about them individually. But starting off, we have Haywire, in which Haywire is basically has to do with the exegates, and when it's halfway done, it will start regressing. This perk honestly doesn't seem very like strong and useful. I mean, what type of survivor is just gonna, like, you know, be there for like, you know, a little bit and then like 50 waiting? You're just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna just leave now. Like, no one. I don't think anyone's gonna do that unless like someone's right behind them. So Haywire's a pretty like mid perk. Up next we have Help Wanted. Now, Help Wanted is a pretty decent one, I'd say. When you kick a generator, you have an increased attack speed for about 60 seconds, basically meaning that usually, like, let's say that it takes like 2 seconds to about 2 seconds to reload your attack animation. You now have 1.75 seconds to reload. I think it's pretty good. And then finally we have Phantom Fear. It's as simple as can be, but I think it's pretty effective. Basically what it does is that if a survivor were to look at you in your direction, they will scream, and they will also be highlighted for a short amount of time. It seems pretty simple, but this could be very, very useful if, like, say, oh, there's a survivor that's literally right behind you, and then you hear them scream, and that's when you can just, you know, turn back around and head towards them. Or if they're at like your 6 or 3. So yeah, I think it's actually pretty useful. Of course, he's just like most killers where only like one perk is useful, one's mid, and then the other one's like kind of just bum. So yeah, not really all that surprising in terms of quality, but I do have to say, these are really good perks and fitting for him. And then finally, we have the main part of this character, his ability, along with his other little feature that he has around the map. So, for his ability, as you can see from the gameplay, he has a fire axe, in which what this axe does is that you can throw it, and if it lands on a survivor, that axe will be lodged into their backs. And basically, like, if you were able to get up close to a survivor, you would be able to grab them and jump scare them, and then instantly just grab them, like carry them to the nearest hook, completely ignoring the dying state. As for survivors, they have to manually rip the axe out before they can be healed. Now, if a survivor is already in the injured state and an axe is thrown at them, well, they instantly get down. And I've seen a lot of people compare this ability to the Huntress's, in which I can tell you from experience that these two do not at all have the same type of axe. Sure, you both throw them, but they axe very differently. Another thing to note is that if you were to miss your axe, it will display a little aura effect in which it grants you two things. One, if a survivor were to interact with the aura, it will highlight them, causing Killer Instinct to trigger. And if I'm not mistaken, if Springtrap were to go through the aura, he would gain a small, tiny little speed boost that allows him to catch up to survivors faster. Overall, not a bad idea, but if anything, I definitely prefer his little interactions, his little additions to the map. That being the security doors. These can be both interacted by survivors and Springtrap, but they both play differently. Basically, 7 different doors will spawn around the map, and what the survivors can do is that they can look through the cameras and try to find Springtrap. If they find Springtrap and they look at him for long enough, his aura will be revealed to everyone around the map. Now, it should be noted that if Springtrap were to throw his axe at a door, that camera will be temporarily disabled. Another thing to know is that you can't just permanently be on cams the entire time because, well, one, you have a limited battery supply, and once that runs out, you're gonna have to manually wait for it to recharge. And just like vaulting and doing generators, Springtrap can interrupt you by grabbing you. Onto its second function, what it does is that survivors, if they were to look at a different door, and if they press left quick, they can instantly walk to it. It's basically a free teleportation. Now, there is a slim chance that if you do, go through the door as a survivor, there's a little chance a little something special might happen, but let's get into Springtrap's little interaction with the doors. So like I stated earlier, he can disable the cameras with his axe until he reclaims it back, but what he can do is that he can't have access to the cameras to know where the survivors are, but he can still travel through doors. And something to note is that he can travel through doors faster than a survivor. And here's the interesting part. If a survivor goes through a door, and Springtrap is also going through the door, then Springtrap will instantly run up to the survivor, grab them, and have them instantly in the carried state. So, that is really, really cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it. First impressions on him, I suck at him. This is why in the gameplay video I am mooring bots. So, yeah. But overall, his power, his design, freaking fantastic. I love it. I really hope they change nothing about him. Oh, I should probably also mention, I love the map. I love the Easter eggs. Everything about the map is perfect. And same thing goes for the chase music and the menu music. But that's all I have to say. Well, I shall see y'all next time. Maybe, hopefully, I'll be uploading another Dead by Daylight video once Springtrap actually comes out. And, yeah, just enjoy the gameplay, and I shall see y'all next time. Bye-bye!
Ha 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 ha!